Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining our Pet MD vet hosted event. My name is Dr. Benjamin Carter, and I've been a veterinarian for, 12 years now. At Chewy, I serve as the Chief Medical Officer for Chewy Vet Care, where I get to work alongside our amazing veterinarians, veterinary technicians, and assistants every day to deliver the best inpatient clinical care to our patients and our pet parents. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Jess Strobel from Elanco, and together we're going to dive into a really important topic, a vet's guide to allergy relief in pets. As we get started, drop us some questions or comments by giving us your pet's name, their age, and maybe even their breed, and one of our team members will get back to you. So without further ado, Dr. Strobel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks so much for having me. It's really great to be here in the Chewy studio. My name is Dr. Jess Strobel, and I've been a veterinarian for about 15 years, so I got you beat by a little bit.
3 years.
I've worked in all kinds of aspects of veterinary medicine, but the big chunk of my career was working in small animal practice in Texas, which is a very itchy place for dogs. And for the past 5 years, I've worked for Elanco, which is a pharmaceutical company that makes all kinds of different products for small and large animals.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell you, as I travel to our hospitals all over the nation, and I get to be in Texas and Florida, Colorado, Georgia, I see allergies everywhere. So I know that it's a big deal, not just here in South Florida where we are today, but literally everywhere. And I myself, I have 3 dogs, Fizz, Susie, and Jax. And every once in a while, one of them is licking a paw or scratching at an ear. So I even have to contend with this. How about you?
Yeah, so I have a 9-year-old pit bull. His name is Fenway. We're big Red Sox fans in my family. I'm going to alienate some of your fans. Sorry about that. But he does sometimes lick his paws or he'll shake his head a little bit more than normal. So like you mentioned, some of those sneaky signs of allergies
Mhm.
can be everywhere.
Well, let's dive right in, shall we? Many pet parents wonder why their dog or cat suddenly seems to be itchy or uncomfortable. What causes allergies in our pets?
Yeah, just like us, our pets can be allergic to all kinds of things. Some of the more common things are pollens, molds, grasses. There's also a lot of dogs that have food allergies, and it's usually things like chicken, beef, or pork, usually a meat protein that's causing that. And we can also have dogs be allergic to fleas.
Mm,
Now, you might be thinking, well, of course, a flea bite is itchy. But there's some dogs that are allergic to a protein in flea spit, and it will actually cause them with just a couple of bites to be totally miserable. We can even have a whole category of dogs where they're just allergic for the sake of being allergic. These dogs are born with some abnormalities to their skins, their immune systems, and those guys are allergic for life. Probably the funniest thing I've ever had come back on an allergy panel. I actually had a dog be allergic to its owners one time.
I bet that came back as allergic to life in
Yes.
general, right? So, I want to have a double point on the fleas, right? Because they're ubiquitous, they're everywhere. And for me, when I was in practice, it was always telling my clients, my pet parents, to make sure that your pet is on flea and tick prevention year round. And that's because only about 5% of the actual flea life cycle is on the pet that we actually see running around. Tell me about the rest.
Yes, so you have stumbled upon the grossest fact in veterinary medicine is that the adult fleas that we might see on our dog or cat only represent 5% of that flea population. The other 95% of that flea population is eggs and larvae and pupae, and those things are in the environment. They're in the carpet, they're in the couches, they're back at home under the deck. All of those kind of life stages of the flea are really hard to see, but they make up a huge percentage of that life cycle, about 95%. We like to say that the adult flea is just the tip of the flea iceberg, and then everything else is back at home.
Totally agree. And I just checked this couch. We look good. Yes. Now that we know a little bit more about the why, let's talk about the what. So for us, oftentimes we'll have a runny nose, watery eyes, scratchy or sore throat. Those are common signs of allergies in humans. Is it similar in our pets?
Yeah, exactly. It's actually unusual for a dog to have runny or itchy eyes for allergies. The most common signs of allergies in dogs are redness and itching. But it is important to know that every allergic dog is a little bit different and they can present in different ways. Itching might look more like licking,
Mhm.
it might look like chewing or nibbling on your feet, it might look like rubbing your face down the side of the couch, it might be head shaking. Redness could be redness, but it could also be hair loss. It could be crust or scabs or pustules on the skin. We can also have dogs present with allergies that have kind of an odor to them, or maybe their skin has gotten really thick or darkened or even crusty. We can see lots of different symptoms. And like I mentioned, every allergic dog is unique. So you could have one or two or all of those signs that I just mentioned, and you could still be an allergy dog.
Yeah, no, and I think that that's really important to highlight is that it's not a one size fits all type of thing here. Like one of my own dogs, first thing that I will notice is kind of like that yeasty odor. And then I see him kind of just rubbing against the couch like this. And I know I've got to go check that ear because at the end of the day, ears are skin too. So this all works into the allergies. And I know that I'm taking a trip to the vet myself. With that, if my dog were showing some of these common signs, how do I maybe know what's actually causing these allergies? Because you gave us a whole list of things to look out for and things that can cause it. How do I know what is causing that allergy in my own pet?
So that is going to take some detective work and it's going to take a partnership with your veterinarian to figure out what's really going on. So definitely reach out to your veterinarian, make that appointment, and things that they might do to help you get to the bottom of it. Good nose to tail exam to start with. They may check for things like ear infections, like you mentioned, or skin infections. They're going to want to make sure you're on good flea and tick control all year round. And they may even recommend allergy testing or a food trial. And I want to make sure that when I say allergy testing, there's not a test that you could just run in quick to your doctor and say, does my dog have allergies or not? But there is some more advanced allergy testing once we get down that path of itchy to try to find out a little bit more specifics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I always like to say is we have to work as a team, right? The doctors, the veterinarians, the clients, the patients, we're all working together to try and figure out and pinpoint what is causing this, and then how do we go ahead and take care of this,
Yeah, I
right?
love what you just said. It is so important to have an open and honest conversation with your veterinarian. What are your priorities? What's important to you? What's your timeline look like? What can you do at home? I might ask you to bathe your dog and you might laugh in my face, right? We need to know what you can do and also what your budget looks like because none of these dogs are the same. None of their treatment plans are the same either. So important that you really have that good partnership and that you're honest about what you need and what you want.
Yeah, 100%. The more we know, the better we are able to help. How important is it if a pet parent sees these allergies in their pet? How important is it for them to act and bring them in? What happens if these allergies go for a lengthy time or even a short time untreated?
It might be tempting to ignore the head rubbing or the licking or the itching. We can actually see really nasty infections pop up. Ear infections are very common in these dogs, and those can be incredibly painful over time. Skin infections can just get worse and worse. So the longer these things go untreated, the more likely they are to be really difficult to actually get under control. So if you suspect your dog has allergies or any signs of infection, call your veterinarian right away.
Yeah, I think it's really important to get on top of what brings us into our next question here of managing symptoms is really, really important, right? Because allergies aren't usually just a quick, one and done and fix it. I like to think of them as a chronic long-term disease type of a thing. So what can we do? And is there a cure for allergies?
Yeah, those of you that take antihistamines every day know, unfortunately, there's not a cure for allergies. And there's very few cases in veterinary medicine where there is either. If you're allergic to fleas or you're allergic to a specific protein in food, you can avoid those things and live really itch free most of your life. But if you're one of those unlucky dogs that's just allergic to the grass in your neighborhood, you're going to have to manage this issue for that dog's whole life. And that can look like a lot of different things. It could be as simple as using a medicated shampoo. It could be adding on medications to maybe stop that itching or that inflammation. It could be lots of different things. One thing to know about is that Elanco has a medication called Zenrelia. It is also called ilunocitinib tablets. And those are a really common type of medication called JAK inhibitors that can help actually manage these dogs long term. So ask your veterinarian about all the different types of therapies that are out there and what might work best for your pet. Because remember, no two of them are the same.
Exactly. And some of these newer medications that we have, they are game changers. They've helped so many of my patients over the years. Finally, for our pet parents who are watching out there, what are some practical steps that they may be able to take right now? Is there anything that a pet parent can do at home by themselves?
Yeah, it's definitely schedule that appointment if you have any concerns. But in the meantime, you can kind of track when your dog is itchy. Is it happening during certain times of the year? Is it happening after they eat a certain type of food or treat? Keep that record so you can share with your veterinarian. Also, we've said it before and we'll say it again, year-round flea and tick prevention is so important. Make sure that you avoid harsh chemicals on bedding or in your yard, on your carpet, that type of thing, because those can be irritating. Provide good, clean, dry bedding. Make sure your dog eats a good quality dog food. I've had many patients over my career that have just eaten chicken nuggets. That is not a balanced meal. And it's also important that you do routine bathing and use a good quality cleansing dog shampoo, not something that'll strip off the oil from their hair coat, because that's part of their skin's protection.
Oh, I'd like a diet of chicken nuggets. It'd be delicious every day. Well, Dr. Strobel, thanks so much for joining us today. I've certainly learned something. Love the tips that you've given to all of our pet parents watching today. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this and learned something as well. So before we wrap up, are there any other suggestions or anything you'd like our pet parents who are watching to know about?
I do want to tell your pet parents that veterinary dermatologists exist. Just like there's human dermatologists, we have veterinarians that specialize in skin diseases. So if you and your veterinarian are struggling right now to diagnose your pet or to get a treatment plan that really works for your pet, don't hesitate to ask for that referral. You won't hurt your veterinarian's feelings. Ask for that referral to that specialist so that you and your dog can get comfortable.
Now, I think that's an amazing tip right there. We're all working together for that coordinated patient care. Great advice, and thank you again. Remember that we've got tons of resources. Jump on over to petmd.com where we have vet-written and vet-reference material for you guys to learn about not only dermatology and allergies, but a whole host of health-related issues. And we're always updating with fresh content, and I think you guys are too.
Absolutely. If you want to learn more about Elanco's dermatology solutions, visit us at myelanco.com.
Well, thank you again, everybody. We hope that you've enjoyed and learned a whole bunch today. We'll see you soon.